Taylor Swift fans have been swindled out of more than £1 million by scammers flogging fake tickets for her current tour. Lloyds Bank has reported more than 600 of their customers have lost, on average, £300 each. Joining me now is showbiz journalist Rebecca Twomey. Rebecca, why have the Swifties been swindled so bad?
Well, I think part of it is just a desperation for the very loyal and very numerous Taylor Swift fans. But the Eras tour has been hugely popular. And what happens a lot of the time is that there's this huge surge and people can't always get the tickets they want. And obviously, scammers have seen this as a brilliant opportunity to start creating fake websites where people are paying on average, I think the average amount they've lost is just over £300 to secure tickets that don't actually exist. But what's quite interesting in this is that because of the huge passion and the huge enthusiasm there is for Taylor Swift, a lot of the fans feel that, you know, going to see her live is really a true accolade of how passionate they are about being what's called a Swiftie, which is a Taylor Swift superfan for those who don't know. And a lot of these scammers are actually targeting Facebook groups, fan groups, and posing as other fans where they talk. It's quite a sophisticated con in some circumstances where they'll start befriending people, talking about Taylor Swift, and then saying, oh, I've got tickets to sell. So it's not always as clear-cut as obvious as people would say, oh, well, hang on, that website looks a bit dodgy, because also the websites look incredibly sophisticated. But one thing I wanted to say to you, JJ, is actually we're in a bit of a cost of living crisis, and yet the average price is around £200 for a Taylor Swift ticket. So it just beggars belief, really, how people are finding the money to actually afford to go to a concert these days, because they just seem so expensive.
Yeah, these Swifties sound like absolute idiots, if I'm honest. One, you're going to pay £200 minimum to go and watch Taylor Swift. No thanks, no interest in that. But two, someone chats to you on Facebook and says, hey, Swiftie, I've got some spare tickets, want to buy them? And you think, oh, yeah, this seems legit. These are idiots, Rebecca. They've only themselves to blame.
I think that's quite harsh sometimes because some of these comments are very sophisticated. Now, I mean, with Taylor Swift, I think it's sometimes that people's, shall we say, it could be sometimes classified as hysteria for Taylor Swift to get these tickets might make them a bit more cloudy with their judgment when they're purchasing tickets. Yeah, but, with a lot of cons, when people's banks give them emails, that look very, very much
Rebecca,
like,
let me tell you, Rebecca, let me tell you, if someone messages me on Facebook saying, hey, this is your bank, do you want to send us your details? I'd be like, no, you idiots. Absolute ridiculous. Is there any way to stop these ticket scammers, other than saying to Taylor Swift fans, only buy your tickets from official websites, Live Nation and others are available, only buy from those? What else can you do to stop the scammers? Apart from common sense, how else can we stop this happening?
Yeah, I think common sense should be exercised, but I think when you're looking at the kind of demographic of real Swifties, there might be sort of a bit of a younger audience, shall we say. I mean, there's things that Ed Sheeran has done in previous times where he's withdrawn tickets when he found that they weren't scammers per se, but they were companies that were adding on huge fees at the end of the checkout. So someone would be buying 4 tickets for just say £200, and it would double at the checkout. So Ed Sheeran actually withdrew tickets to prevent that from happening. So there might be something to do with that where the artists get more involved. But really, when it's making Taylor Swift loads of money, I'm not sure whether her and her team will do that. So really, I think it's about awareness. It's actually quite good that Lloyds have come out, today to say this, because I think hopefully people just should be much more careful.
Taylor Swift, isn't she a billionaire these days?
Yeah, she's absolutely minted. I mean, basically, going on tours is where a lot of artists get their money, but Taylor Swift does not need any more money. She could, lend me £1 million and I'd be very happy.
Well, then, if Taylor loves her Swifties so much, as she goes on about them, reimburse them yourself. £300 per person who's been scammed. Taylor, do that.